connection like with music?
I feel like it can be very helpful in many, many, many ways. Like, you know, there's times where, for example, if I'm driving home in my car on my own and I'm feeling a certain way, or some songs get you through certain things and some songs help make you feel good about yourself.
I feel like music has actually helped him a lot because it's like he can talk through his music instead of talking to someone.
How important to you is this project?
Very important. Very, very, very important. I feel like one, because I've tried to make most of the tape my own production, whether it, like, or in-house, so for example like beats from Ez, or beats I've made myself, or beats me and Ez have made. Obviously Thierry mixes my own tracks, so everything's done. It's not like I'm going out my way, like it's all like the team, you know what I mean?
What is Hardway?
Hardway is a collective of creatives that do everything the hard way, hence the name. We're all self-taught musicians, artists, producers, beat makers, you name it, we do it.
Who's that? It's Hardway. Pass the mic, watch us turn up the party.
Teaching ourselves, teaching each other, trial and error. Hardway is what that means.
If we see something in you and you're a hard worker and you're willing to put in the hard work, then you can be a part of the crew.
Once we're open to work with anybody, like that's what I mean, we're creators, we collaborate with a lot of people. But Hardway is kind of like a lot of family values, like they've stemmed from a long-term relationships that we've had with each other, strong connections and like-minded people that have the same vision. And obviously some people's visions are different, don't always align. Doesn't mean we can't work together, but obviously if we're on this path and you're on that path, then it's best to stay on the path, isn't it?
A lot of people want to do this, but they don't want to put it in the work. But like Brad's on me every day, calls me every day. What do you think of this? I really enjoy listening to Brad's music, it's refreshing. He's a hard worker, you know. I'd actually say Brad's probably the hardest worker, music-wise, that I work with. He listens, you know what I mean? Like, he does his thing, but he listens as well. And he takes on board what he says, and then he puts that into the work.
What's Brad like to work with?
Not afraid to try new things, and no matter how many people are there, he's not afraid to just put down what he says, test the limits. A lot of people are afraid to do that in front of people and afraid to push certain boundaries in music just because of what people might think. But Brad's like not one of them, so it's easy to get creative with him.
A lot of thought and a lot of meaning has gone into the tape. About 2 years, I think, I've known Brad now for, but he's elevated every day. But when he started making his own beats, I think that's when he kind of turned it up a little bit and got a bit of a... I really like Brad's music. It's different, probably because obviously it's all made by Brad, so like he can make the beat and he can sit on it how he wants to sit on it, or he can make the beat how he's rapping, you know what I mean?
What do you want the listeners to take away from this?
I want them to take away who I am, because you'll be able to tell through this tape who I am. So, you know, everybody's going through the same shit, it's just how you deal with it, or, you know, it might be different how it goes through, but, you know, people are going through stuff. And like, I want them to be able to actually relate. Like, there's a couple of tracks on there that, yeah, you could play like with a group of people, but then there's also tracks that you would play where, like, for example, if you're in a car on your way home, like on your own, or like if it was late night, or, you know, there's a lot to be learned, and like, you know, you just got to get on with it, deal with it, and get on with it. Do you know what I mean? And I just want it to be something to show them that I work hard. That's one thing, because like I said, I'm not doing it to take like just for fun. I'm working hard. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bradley is one of them people that always wants to make people happy. If he thinks that whatever he's doing, or wherever he is in his life, he thinks that he's going to disappoint you, then like he struggles with that. But it's like he feels like he can deal with everything on his own, and then he gets to a point where he can't, and then it's just like. But he doesn't talk. He bottles everything up, and then it gets to a point where it's just like blown, and you're like, you could have just talked, and like it would have been so much easier. Bradley's one of them people where like he has to be busy. You can't just sit still. But like she was very much like no. So like it got to a point where like it went from being really good to like you can't do this, you can't do that. So then it was like he changed a little bit, Brad. I learned a whole completely different person. It was weird.
And what do you reckon that was doing to Brad?
Stressing him out, like when she lived with us, it was like both of them changed. But like Bradley changed to the point where like he was never home because he was out doing his bike, and he was telling me like it was because he needed a break from her.
How did that make you feel?
It was stressful because I just thought like say something, like do you know what I mean, like stand your ground, she stands hers, so you stand yours. Like, but it was very much Bradley likes an easy life, like he's not there for the drama. So if he can save the drama, he'll save the drama, even if it means doing what he don't want to do.
What was it like after he broke up with her?
It was like a roller coaster of emotions when we broke up with him. So like at the end of it, it was like hard to watch him because he was sad. But like I said to him, I was like, it's better for him to do that because looking at him now, like he'll say it himself, he's such a better person now, and he's worked for himself so much.
In an honest opinion, yeah, dealing with it was hard, innit? Dealing with it was hard, like, I feel like that's just made me a bit more, not reserved, but like, I'm not even scared, it's hard to trust somebody, you know what I mean? Where like, you feel like, you know someone that's they're close to you, but they're really not. And it's hard, you know, like, you will get emotional in it, like, your emotions, especially when you're that deep and that invested. I feel like the only reason that I had to leave because I was only benefiting her and it wasn't benefiting me. I was trying to better her but worse than myself. And you know, I couldn't do that to myself anymore. And like to find that out and it just goes to show that like I was really wasting my time. I was putting a lot of effort and stuff in and trying to make it work, and all she was doing was just sitting there wanting me to fix her problems when I couldn't do that. And I feel like the way I go forward with like love is higher. Because I feel like we're in a day and age where it's just like not existent because like it's just not. I feel like right now there's too many problems. Like social media is a big problem for it, but I feel like it definitely made me a bit more wary of what to do and how to go about things, which is why like I am who I am now. Like I say in one of the other tracks, she like remolded me. I explain it in the track in the same sort of detail that I do here, but one day I was at work, and normally when we finish the job that we're on, we go get an holiday, go back to the yard, and then I go home. But this day I had an appointment, and we weren't far from my house. So as I was walking, as I got out of the alleyway, got to the bottom of the road, I seen this lad on the bridge, and he was sort of facing the tracks. And because I was walking up and I just saw people watching as I was going up the road, and a few people walked past him. So at first I thought I'd just be waiting for somebody or something. I don't know, but because I was watching, I like paid a bit more attention, and a good like 5 or 6 people walked past him. And as I got closer, just as I was about to cross the road to get onto the bridge, I could hear somebody crying. And as I got closer, he was crying, and he was in like his school uniform because his blazer was off, his bag was off, everything was on the side, and he was crying, just staring at the tracks. So I said to him, I was like, look, are you alright? And it took me a couple of times to get his attention because he couldn't really hear me because he was actually crying like pretty bad. And I was pretty concerned, and I was like, please don't tell me you're going to do what I think you're going to do. Like, you're not going to jump, are you? Well, I don't know, because every time something happens, I always end up back here. And he said, I've got stuff going on at home and with my girlfriend and school and stuff like this. And I was like, what do I? And he said he was 17. He's not even been to uni yet. Just tell me what you want to tell me, and I need to get away from here. I said, I can't walk past you crying and later on find out that somebody's died here. And I said to him, I was like, look, I'm here to help you, do you know what I mean? And he was like, you know, I've tried to speak out, and I've tried to talk, and I've talked like, well, look, talk to me a little bit. I said, you don't know me, I don't know you, I've not got an opinion on you. I said, I'm just trying to help you and get you in a better mindset. He sort of like warmed to me. I said, right, look, we need to get away from this bridge. So he was explaining that, like, you know, no matter what he tries, it just gets worse. When we got to the car, he was like, just saying thank you and stuff like that. And I had to drop him off around the corner. And I remember I got his Snapchat, and I don't get a hold of me, message me, and if you ever need to talk to anybody, talk to me. He said, because like I don't know, but all I want to do is help you. And I said to him, I was like, look, you need to tell your mum, you need to speak to your mum and dad and what the hell is going through your head, because as much as you feel like they might not want to listen to you, they are going to listen to you, because I can tell you now, I'm pretty sure they would rather hear what you have to say than hear that you've been found dead. And he messaged me and he was like, thank you again for today. He said, you've really helped me a lot. He said, I don't think you understand how much I appreciate you being somebody random that is willing to help, because nobody has wanted to help or had an interest in helping me. And he was alright after a couple of weeks. I made sure he was alright and stuff, and he sort of fizzled out. I think it was last November. I was on my way home from work again, but this time I was actually driving, and I pulled into the petrol station because I needed fuel. And my dream car that I would love to have is a blue Range Rover SVR. And I've pulled into the petrol station and there's a blue SVR in the petrol station. I've asked him about the car, and as I'm stood in between like the doorway, I just hear somebody shout my name, and I'm thinking, somebody gets out this Range Rover and he's like, Brad, and he's like, do you remember me from the bridge? And honestly, yeah, I was gobsmacked. You could have seen the smile that he had on his face that day when he saw me and he'd recognised me, compared to the day that I first saw him on the bridge. It was actually unbelievable. Like I drove home after seeing him and just did not stop smiling until I got back. I was just like, wow. And he said after that day, he said he opened up more, he started talking more, which meant a lot to me, because even though he didn't know me and I didn't know him, he took in what I said. Just to be able to know that I helped him deal with his stuff, and it was crazy. Honestly, it was actually crazy, because I'm honestly proud of him, seriously proud of him.
Coming to Brad's boxing, how did you feel on that day?
Oh. As a parent, it's just really hard. Every time he goes into any sort of training and stuff, mentally, like, it changes him as a person. He'd been wanting to do this fight for so long, and it had been cancelled and rearranged, and Cameron had pulled out.
So I used to take him, and it wasn't for him. He just wanted to focus on the football, so I didn't want to push him into anything. I wanted him to do whatever he wanted to do, because as long as he was doing something. And I think it was either his options, or when he was in sixth form, he had the option of choosing, and he chose boxing, and then he just carried it on from there, and he did well. Like I say, we went to Denmark, he won the box cup there, and he did pretty well with the boxing. He should have carried on really, and then he just stopped. I mean, obviously, he's so focused on everything. And I think he was overthinking things a little bit. I think he's more. The good thing was he had the performing and offers him. My nephew was there, so he had someone to sort of distract him from just him. So it wasn't just about him. So which is probably good. That if it was probably just him that was about him that night, then maybe. And because they knew each other, so he's hyped himself up. So yeah, it was like it's like the Joshua and Fury thing. It's meant to have been for ages. The only time I was like nervous and was when he got to the final in Denmark. Obviously, just because of the power of him, but no, because I knew that because he's always committed to and he listens. I knew he'd be alright. I'm proud of everything he does, and then obviously when he does win things like that, you know, it's amazing because I know how much work he puts into it and how dedicated he is. So I know, you know, I knew he had it in the bag.
From your blue